There are options, as there are in any state, even if the governor of a state does not want to use the Guard. It has been used where the federal government has nationalized it, federalized it, and used the federal Guard in that regard. But the city of D.C. is the only area in the country that doesn't have control over its own National Guard. And that played out in a series of problematic ways in the last year. When we had the protests that happened over the course of the summer, there was a lot of controversy about the way the D.C. mayor and D.C. police interacted or didn't interact with the chief of staff of the Army, and how they conducted themselves. Then certainly on January 6th, there was a lot of controversy about how that played out. D.C. should have the right to have some say in what goes on inside of their own territory, and the mayor of D.C. is in charge of that area. It will always be a cooperative effort, as it is now, for that matter, as it is in every state with the Guard. But I just feel that D.C. should have the same rights as every other state in terms of how the Guard is deployed within the territory that the mayor, in this case, governor in other cases, is responsible for. And so I would urge a no vote. Mr. Rogers.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I respectfully disagree with you. D.C. does not need to have the same rights as every other state because D.C. is not a state. And until they do gain that status, I think they should be treated as such, a city.
Sorry, Mr. Brown.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I oppose the amendment. I do believe that the senior elected, chief executive elected officer of the District of Columbia, whether that person's a mayor or a governor, but is the top elected official with the responsibility to coordinate and fuse together resources to address things like civil disturbance and natural disasters and, terrorist attacks. I think that the senior elected official in the District of Columbia should have similar control over the D.C. National Guard as my governor has in Maryland, and the governor of Mississippi and every other governor has.